Okay, so I'm sharing this old lesson that I wrote a while back. So, how to connect your strength, weakness, or experience to why you want to work in a call center. So, usually my strengths change from time to time because I always invest my extra money in learning new skills, and that includes buying books, buying tools, buying lessons, buying whatever, trying to improve myself because early on when I started out, I didn't finish college. I only had 1 year of college, but my first employer told me that the more skills I learn, the more I can increase my income. And the best part is it's not limited to formal education. So, what that means is that all I had to do is to just learn new skills. And the more skills I learned, the more income I can build. And the smarter you are, the smarter you are with how you combine your skills, the better you'll be able to do. So, my strengths do change from time to time, and that's because I'm always learning. So I found out that based on experience, today's strengths are usually last year's weakness. Because last year, it's a weakness because I just learned it for the first time and I'm just trying it out, and I'm not very good at it at first. But after trying it for a while, after practicing, after experiencing failure, after experiencing all these mistakes, after just staying with it, even if it's hard. All I had to do is to just stay with it, learn the lessons, do what I needed to do. Um, that weakness eventually becomes a strength. After some things I learn faster, some things I learn a little slower, and that's just how it is. So if I end up waking up early, I end up having the ability to save some money. If I end up eating a little less, if I end up explaining things well or writing regularly today, I was doing the exact opposite last year. So I regularly, based on um, based on something that I learned a few years back, I regularly write a list of my strengths on paper, and if you do the same, you'll see clearly what you have to offer. So I recommend writing your top 10 accomplishments and or things that you're proud of and pick a strength from that situation. I enjoy talking about new strengths because I can tell a story on how I picked it up, how I learned the skill, or how I picked up the strength, how I got really good. So the skill ends up becoming a strength. And I like the telling the story of how I previously, so this strength was previously a weakness and what I did to overcome it. So in the call center interview, when asked what are your strengths, I recommend answering in terms of what's related to the job that you're applying for. So if it's sales, tell them a story about how you sold something, like how bad you are at selling and how you overcame that. If it's customer service, you can tell them about how difficult people are and how you learned how to deal with difficult people. And if it's tech support, it's kind of like the same thing, but it's more technical in nature. Maybe you're teaching your grandma how to use a printer or how to use a computer or something like that. So when you answer this question, do not recite a list. Share some information on why and how it became your strength. Tell them the story, because nobody's interested in your strength. They're interested in the story of how you got your strength. They're interested in the story on how this strength was previously a weakness. So stay with that. Stay with so I was previously not very good at speaking in English, but I spent a lot of time practicing. So and that's the thing. If you go through my YouTube my YouTube channel, there's a lot of old videos, and I'm not very good at speaking before, and I have so many ahs and ums, and it's very difficult to watch. Like if I try to watch it, it's very difficult. And That's why I'm making new videos, because I can speak a little better now than I did back then. So, um, okay. So when you answer this question, do not recite the list. Share some information on how your strength became your strength. So there isn't really a correct answer in an interview. The interviewer is more or less just checking your conversational skills and is also watching for grammar and pronunciation mistakes. So there are some call center applications that I used for what. So yeah, this is cool. I ends up that I wrote some of my old answers. So this is an old answer that I've had. So when I was younger, I enjoyed talking on the phone. So this was before everyone had a cell phone, and the longest time that I stayed on the phone was 26 hours. And I was on the phone with my high school best friend and my high school crush, and it was on a New Year's Day, and we were on the phone, and it was a three-way, and it was one of the um, happiest days of my high school days. So, and I often wake up really late because I stayed up late all night, and I figured when I learned about call center work, I figured that, oh, okay, so I'm gonna sleep late, like really late. Well, sleep in the morning and stay up all night. That was exciting for me when I was younger. So, if I had work where I get to stay up all night, I'd be really happy with that. And I'd get to sleep all day and party all night on my off days without feeling guilty. And that's why I wanted to work in a call center back then. So, for as far as I can remember, I'm the only person in my circle, so like neighborhood group of friends, who knows how to use the computer. So when someone needed help with their computer, they came to me, and I usually told this short story when I apply for a tech support job. So if people needed an explanation on how things work or get their computer fixed without having to go to a repair shop and paying, I was the guy for that. And yeah, anyway, I also learn a lot from talking to different kinds of people, and I really enjoy talking to people from other countries. So it's not it's not a good idea to tell people that you wanted to expose yourself to people of different cultures. That's not that's that's not the correct answer. That's actually bad English. So just tell them that you're interested in getting to learn more about people with different culture. That's a better way of saying it. But it's not more about what you'll get. It's more about what you can offer. So yeah. What else? What else? What else? And then I also said in my old interview, so these are collections of answers. I don't say it in verbatim. I say some of them, and then I collected it and I wrote it down. So I figure there's a lot of opportunity for me since I'll be taking calls from abroad. So, oh yeah, I even wrote it down here. Don't say you want to be exposed to customers or expose yourself to customers, so that's a bad idea. And then the other thing is, I heard the pay here is really good for starters, and I don't mind working nights, and I have experience in my previous jobs doing some sort of customer service or sales or tech support. Uh, yeah, I said very important here. So these are things that I would suggest to include in your answers and not the answers themselves. And yeah, I already said that. So answer questions like you normally would, as if you're talking to a friend. Have a conversation with your interviewer and hint to them that you're a great match for the job. Do you have a hobby or trait that you think is an advantage in your job application? Write that down and start turning it into a very good story. Spend some time thinking about that question. Do you have a hobby or trait that you think is an advantage in your job application? And write these answers on your journal or your notebook. And again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting my website. If you want more lessons, please visit callcentertrainingtips.com. Again, that's callcentertrainingtips. So .com, and you can just Google me, Kevin Call Center Training Tips. And thank you for supporting my Facebook page, the YouTube channel, the Instagram page, and we may never meet, but I'm really happy that I was able to make a contribution for you. And always remember that if I can do it, you can do it too. Um, yeah, and thank you. Bye bye.